Hello, my dear students. I'm Dr. Mansoor Ali Khattak, working as assistant professor in English at the Department of English of Cohort, University of Science and Technology, Costa. As you can see, the subject is TEFL, which basically stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language. And today's topic is grammar-based English syllabus. Let me share at the beginning of the lecture that it seems a very well-known topic because as a learner, as a teacher, or as a common person, you might have heard about the grammar or grammar-based syllabus. So moving on to the main agenda of today's topic. What are the subtopics that I would be just exploring in couple of moments? First, I will be trying to tell you what are the different kinds of English syllabuses. Because as a learner, as a practitioner, as a teacher, we must be able to know the different kinds of English syllabuses. Because if a teacher, particularly a teacher, is unable to know the kinds of English syllabuses, I think his future or further teaching practices would be not, you can say, effective. And also I would be trying to define the grammar based syllabuses, because this very definition can really, you can say, give you the opportunity to really understand the nature of the grammar based syllabus, and also the objectives. If you are interested, you can say, if you have some particular orientation or purpose, so these objectives would be really, you can say, helpful to give you the proper direction. And also I would be trying, if you are interested, to know, you can say, the overall, you can say, the English, the grammar based syllabus. So the main features I would be exploring, and also what kind of the course material or contents, if you want to develop the grammar based syllabus for your students, for your institution. And further, if what are the pedagogical implications, what sort of teaching and teaching practices you will adopt if you have grammar-based syllabuses in your institution or in your college or university or school level. And also I would be trying to highlight some of the limitation or the demerits of the grammar-based syllabuses, because every syllabus has got some you can say weaknesses. And also at the end of my lecture, I would be exploring the grammar-based syllabuses in English language education across the world, and particularly then focusing on the grammar-based syllabus in the English language education or second language education in Pakistan. So there are total six kinds of English syllabus, and I think the best source I have just written at the end of this very slide, which is Noonan, who has worked mostly in Asian context. So the first one is grammar. Sometimes it's also called structure-based syllabuses, because the structure is just really important in this very syllabuses. And the second one, which is a bit, you can say, recent one as compared to the grammar one, functional notion-based syllabuses, which basically stand for the learner expression of his own feeling, her own feelings, her own, you can say, reservation, information, arguments, thinking. All these are just coming under the category of functional or the notional based syllabuses. And situational, because we are facing and we're using the English language or any language, maybe L1, L2, in different situations. So that very situation can really, you can say, influence the use of language, including English language. So this is another kind of a syllabus, which is usually known as situational based syllabus. And skill based, for example, I'm really looking to find to polish my writing or reading skills, so that very skills can really, this very kind of a syllabus can really help you in polishing in your different skills if you are looking for. And content based, for example, if I I'm interested in science or fictional, or you can say maybe a biology, maybe physics, maybe chemistry, maybe macrobiology, maybe economics. So all these, you can say, kind of information I can get, you can say. But while getting information about these various discipline or subjects, I can learn English language. It's a kind of integration, you can say, content based and task based. For example, there are different tasks that we are performing, but we are performing this very different activities or tasks with the help of the English language. So these this kind of a syllabus can really, you can say, integrate the task in the English language learning. So moving on, defining. So one definition could be, in a simple words, that such syllabus is a syllabus which is based on the structured rules of English language. I have highlighted with the red mark, so you can not only remember but also see it. You can say that these are very important points. And the definition of grammar-based English syllabus is the rules and structured rules, for example. And the easiest way is just to understand, for example, our human body is composed of different elements or different structures, and right from the head, you can say, and then thorax, and then you can say the abdomen and the legs. So, and also these parts are just, you can say, having subparts as well. So these subparts and subparts or structures are, you can say, what are these structures and how these are just, you can say, correlated or connected or structured or shaped just to make, you can say, the whole body. It's in the same way, you can say, English has got its own structure, and structure elements or parts, and sometimes these are called grammatical parts as well, grammatical elements as well. So these are the just focus in English in the grammar-based syllabuses. Or in other words, where the contents of English syllabuses are selected and graded according to the form and not the function of English language. So that's the second definition can really give you some idea, you can say, what are the main elements which are included in English or in syllabuses. So the syllabus's contents are based on the form, and the form, structure, grammar are used interchangeably, so, and not the function. Function means the use of the language in particular situation by a particular person with particular person for particular purpose. These will function are not the main agenda in a grammar-based syllabus. There's only one agenda, and the one agenda is the structured rules, and these rules are just taught, just highlighted, and these are crammed, and then these are used, you can say, by the students. And the best sources I have just mentioned, and these are very recent resources. Make it 2002, so you can say teaching and learning English is international language. So, and Brown and the principle of language teaching. So these are the two references which can really give you more in-depth definition of grammar-based syllabus. What are the objectives? What we can get, you can say, from the grammar-based English syllabuses? The 3 points I have highlighted. The first one, if a student, if a teacher, even if any other learner, L2 learner wants to really, you can say, have grip on the grammatical rules of the which is defined as, you can say, the linguistic competency. So I think that's the best option. So you can develop among your students the linguistic competency. And the second one, if you want to polish the reading and writing skills, and that grammar-based syllabus would be really the right choice for your students. And the third one, enhancing the academic vocabulary of the L2 learners. I have highlighted the academic vocabulary, not the functional vocabulary. The academic vocabulary can be defined, you can say, the vocabulary, the choice of the words, the use of the words used in particular academic setting, maybe in subjects, maybe in discipline. So this is academic vocabulary, and that very academic vocabulary is not the very practical day-to-day vocabulary. So these are the three, you can say, objectives. If your teacher, your institution is really looking to develop among the learners, so and these could be polished through with the help of the grammar-based syllabuses. Moving on to the next slide, what are the main features through which we can really identify the English-based syllabus? If you are just given, you can say the syllabuses, then you must be able to identify. So if the syllabus is starting, basically you can say starting with the words and phrases and sentences, then you must be able to know that these are the features of the grammar-based syllabuses, that what are the words and the words translation, how these words are, you can say made, I would say, morphology, and also then the words are just combined, you can say, for example, on the table, under the table. So these are just becoming a phrases, and then you can say a bird is sitting, you can say, on the table. So these sentence is the basic and the very building a unit of the grammar-based syllabus. The students are just taught, you can say, the sentence and all the things, the words, the words vocabulary, the phrases, the words kinds, the words making, the word shape, the morphology, the words, you can say, everything are just described within a sentence. So sentence is the building unit, building blocks for grammar-based syllabuses. And also there is a translation of L1 and L2 or vice versa. Though this very, you can say, main feature has been recently highlighted or even rather criticized, you can say, for example, Canal in 1989, even in my recent studies of Ali et al. 2013, that there is a translation of L1, L2, which might be confusing for the students, but there are few studies, there I can say a couple of studies which highlighted that no, the combination, or the, you can say, bringing together the L1 and L2 in form of translation, in form of code switching, code mixing, could really be, you can say, helpful. And this is one of the key features, and that's one of the unique feature of grammar-based syllabuses. You will find, you can say, a numerous example and illustration by a teacher, even within the syllabus, you can say, of the translation of L1 and L2, and that's becomes, and this is very unique feature, I believe, in grammar-based syllabuses, which is really combining, you can say, the L1 and L2, as we see and we combine in our daily practice, L1 and L2. And also you can learn, you can say, the grammatical rules, but again these rules are very limited to sentence level, and these sentences are very typical sentences, and these are just, you can say, not, you can say, many sentences, not, you can say, very elaborated sentences as we use, as you can say, and speech form. These are very exemplary, these are very, you can say, unique type of sentences which are repeated. And there are a couple of books that you can see that they have explained all these features in Quirk et al. 1985, and Wren and Morton, which is very popular book, you can say, at the elementary, or you can say secondary level. So these features can really be found for grammar-based syllabuses. What are the core contents which, if you want to develop in English syllabuses? So what are the different, you can say, topics that you need to, as I mentioned in the last slide, the sentence and its construction, right, and its kinds, you can say. Then you can say dividing the sentence, you can say, in form of, you can say, maybe you can say SV and subject verb, and then subject verb object, and then so many others, you can say. So but all these techniques are revolving around the sentence and its construction and paragraph writing. If you know that students have developed, you can say, to make a sentence, to restructure a sentence, then you are combining, you can say, different sentences in a form of paragraph to give, you can say, a real, you can say, a comprehension of all this speech, of all these paragraphs. So reading or writing a paragraph could really be enhanced, you can say, could be included in the topics of the in the course contents of the grammar based syllabuses. And also essay writing, that's a very well advanced stage, and at the university level I think that that one you can say can really be, you can say, encouraged among the students. So essay writing could be, you can say, included, is usually included in the course contents of the grammar passage. And reading comprehension, for example, if there is a passage, if there is a story, if there is an essay, and then the students are given, you can say that what is written, what does it mean, you can say overall, and what are the different paragraphs, you can say, and what are these particular paragraphs are about it. And also, as I mentioned, the translation of the paragraph in lessons, and the correct use of the grammatical element, that is very unique feature of the grammar basically, you can say. Not only, you can say, structuring the sentences, remembering and using the grammatical rule, but also, you can say, with a focus on developing, you can say, the accurate, the correct use and the correct writing of the English sentences. And vocabulary related topics are also included, you can say. Again, I would say that these vocabulary is not functional, the service is very limited, and it used in academic context, maybe in reading books, maybe you can say reading faction, and not the very functional one. Pedagogical implications of the grammar based English syllabus is role of it to learner. The learner is very submissive, the learner is just sitting, you can say, and learning is just noting down, you can say, and learning is just listening. And learner is not active, learner is not, you can say, motivated. So all the things are just coming on his or her shoulder, or his or mind, and you can say the learner are not given, you can say, the front line, or you can say more facilitative environment to the students, and role of the teacher. Teacher is very dominant. Teacher is rather authoritative, I would say. Teacher comes to the classroom and then goes straight to the blackboard or whiteboard and writing the topic is this, and also writing the rules, and then you can say, and instructing the students, you can say, that remember and note it, and you can say, and memorize all these rules, and then on the basis of these rules, this teacher can write sentences, and then these rules are just applied on that very particular sentence, not on a speech. And grammar-based syllabuses, the method of teaching is grammar translation method, which is just considered as very old-fashioned method, and has remained and still gaining, you can say, its popularity. The grammar translation method, where the grammar is just, you can say, translated. Grammar is focus and translation is focus, as its name suggests. Classroom environment and activities. Classroom environment is just, you can say, a very traditional one, and the whole class is just sitting, and these are just sitting in rows, in long rows, and even the student, you can say, sitting close with the student is not supposed to be using the language, particularly speaking the language. Everyone is focused on their own his own activities, and teacher is just, you can say, always, in most cases, on the front, and the students are just looking, you can say, what he or she is writing particularly, and also saying. And there is no, you can say, noise, or there is no, you can say, speaking activities. All the activities are just, you can say, written or on blackboard, or the students are just instructed to write down, you can say, some sentences or words and translation. So I think there is a practice, and that practice of, you can say, handwriting, not, you can say, the mouth, and you can say the mouth articulation, and I mean speaking. And evaluation is really focused on, you can say, the reading, and testing the reading and the writing abilities. And these, you can say, two skills are just and good, and one way, as you can see, that these two skills are developed in grammar-based syllabus. But the other two important skills of speaking and listening are ignored. all these you can say elements could be explored in a very recent source of Richard's 2015 book, which is also available online as well. You can easily Google it. Limitation of grammar-based syllabuses. Let's focus on developing listening skills and also the speaking skills. So these two skills are very, you can say, coming faster when we are placed on the earth. We develop first listening and then speaking, and then the very advanced reading and writing skills coming. These two natural skills of listening and speaking are ignored, are not encouraged. At least in grammar-based English syllabuses. And English language is believed as an academic subject, not, as you can say, as a functional, as you can say, a very communicative and interactive tool to be used among the people. Now English has become a lingua franca, which highlights, you can say, that the learner needs more competency. For example, how to use the language with the different people coming from a different, you can say, socio-cultural backgrounds, and also different situation, and also different topics. So we need, you can say, not only, you can say, the linguistic competency, but also intercultural communicative competency, which is usually known as, you can say, the intercultural ICC. And I think the grammar-based syllabuses cannot cover this very recent need of the learner. This is one of the key limitation or weaknesses of the grammar-based syllabuses. Also, you can say it's very hard to memorize the grammatical rules, and when you are memorizing as a student, you can say the different rules are, so that might be, you can say, creating some kind of a stress or pressure in the minds of the learner, and there are fair chances that the learner will be demotivated. And when there is a demotivation, so the successful learning, I feel too, would be rare. Very recent resources which highlight, you can say, the limitation of English-based syllabuses. Mario Ceresini 2008 and 2015, who has highlighted, you can say, the English is a world language, which is usually called world Englishes, and also Crystal, English is a global language, and Richards and Rogers, where they have in detail highlighted, you can say, the different approaches and the strength and the weaknesses, including of the grammar-based English syllabuses. And Hafiz 2015 highlighting the need of, you can say, developing the English, the communicative competency. And my own study of Ali et al. Has also highlighted the developing and the desire and the motivation among the Pakistani students to use the language in different situations. Grammar-based syllabuses and English language education remain popular in English language education across the world, including Pakistan, including India and Sri Lanka, and still it's popular. But in 1950, around 1960 or 70s, particularly by Dalhamas 1972, have strongly highlighted, you can say, the limitations of the English language syllabuses. And so at the beginning of new millennium, once again, you can say it gained its grounds, because around 1990s and 1980s, the English the communicative English-based syllabuses were introduced and practiced in education institutions. But later on, I mean at the beginning of the millennium, it came to know that communicative language teaching has also, you can say, one key merit, that it develops, you can say, the faulty communication among the English syllabuses, which highlight the importance of grammar-based syllabuses. Used these days, recently, and these days, the grammar-based syllabuses is used, we can say, with other type of syllabuses like functional, situation, and task-based syllabuses. So this is the end of the lecture. Thank you so much.